All right, so when I do arms, I break it up into 4 different categories. Four, right? It's 4 basic principles that you can kind of mash up and do whatever you want with. So the first thing is holding angles. So with your arms, right? Your arms can go out, forward, up, down, angles like that. Also, you have your elbows, your hands itself. So you can form any angle you want, right angles, and hold on to them. You can also form off angles. So there are angles created that aren't solid right angles, however they still work. Or you can use something like a convex like this and do stuff like that. Fuck around with it for a while, being able to hold angles, because that allows you to do stuff like voguing, right? It also allows you to tut and stuff like that. So learn to hold your angles. One of the best examples of it is to do the Macarena, because the Macarena teaches you different positions to hold angles and still do stuff. Play around with it, get a little freaky with it, because people mostly do this, right? But you can also do da da, put a little bump into it, ba 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 ba, stuff like that. You can turn any point that you pivot on your arm into an angle to make you flow a little better. Second principle is flexibility, and that comes down to mastering your different joints across your arms and body. So most people see the wave, which is like this, which has shoulder activation all the way through. Also your elbow activation. One of the tips for that is most people hold your arms straight up like that. Now it's awkward, there's nothing there. So what you want to do is relax your shoulders, drop your arms below the shoulder line. So what happens is you create the wave yourself. So by being underneath, it's nice wavier and flowier. You can start small just by doing down, 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 up, down, drop. Or you can start using your fingers too and do it flowy all the way. It takes a little bit of time, but eventually get used to it. Fuck around with the wave in different places. You can also do it in a circle, or you can just do it on your fingers and all these different things. The wave is very useful because it gives you both shoulder and chest activation while still giving you kind of like a flowy, limp kind of arm. It helps you swing around. Third principle comes down to circles. So when I do a lot of stuff, right, like this move, I'm creating a circle. When I use my whole arm, creating a circle. Wrist, creating a circle. So what happens is, when I have my arms together, you know that whole Boogie Wonderland kind of thing, right? Relax your wrists. And you got flowiness there. You can also hold them opposite from each other and rotate them back and forth. Fuck around with that a little bit. Try to get your things a little flexible, right? The more flexible and limp you can keep your arm while still moving it around, the better it looks. Because if you go from this to this to this, they're completely different things. Also, be happy to use your hips, because your hips will help you give a bounce to it and make it look nicer. Hips are actually a big thing, and also shoulder bounce. This is like kind of like a secondary thing, but most hip hop and whatever dances will do that in general. And then the final principle that I usually kind of like to do is flares. So your hands and your fingers are the most flexible and best parts of your hands. So what you can do is eventually practice, and get your arms do stuff like this, much like a glover. I'm not much of a glover myself, even though I kind of look like I am. I don't wear a pair of gloves, and I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. But that's one of the those are the biggest things you gotta do. So to review really quickly, right? You have angle holding to make it look like you're doing something crazy, right? You have waves to make your arm look a little crazier, give you shoulder activation, and then you can also swing around with it. Third principle, again, circles. They come everywhere. They're everywhere. You can use them. Tracing the circle is what you're trying to do. You can do funny ones like this, which I learned from someone else, JT, which looks really freaking cool. But it's essentially I'm tracing circles with my hands and putting them in the air, somewhere three-dimensionally. And then the final one, of course, is flaring your fingers, because how flexible your fingers are give you a lot of pop. Get your shoulders really loose, stretch them out a lot, and that should help you a lot with your arms. If you want to learn any specific move, literally just look at it and fuck with it for hours and hours, because this is very much a memory kind of thing, kind of like the rest of the shuffle stuff is, but it's more loose. There's no hard thing to do. And with that, I'll leave you kind of like a little combo that kind of does everything together. So ready, 3, 2, 1, go. Ba, ba, ba. Oh, the music stopped. I'm such an asshole.